Why did they hate us? 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 Because they supported Saddam Hussein right through the period of his worst crimes. You know, gassing the Kurds, Anfal, chemical weapons. They continued to support him very happily. He remained a good, favored friend and ally of the West. Saddam Hussein carried out horrendous human rights violations. 1982 was the year in which Ronald Reagan dropped Iraq from the list of states supporting terrorism so that the U.S. could start providing him with extensive aid, including military aid, including means to develop biological and chemical weapons and missiles and weapons of and nuclear weapons. He was dropped from, and Donald Rumsfeld, the next, shortly after, went to firm up the agreement. The next charge against Saddam Hussein, the one that's going to come along, it's been announced, is a much more serious crime, the atrocities against the Kurds in 1987, 1988, the Anfal massacres, Halabaja. Yeah, they were terrible. Probably killed 100,000 people. The U.S. didn't object. In fact, the Reagan administration blocked efforts in Congress even to protest against it. Furthermore, the support for Saddam increased and continued after the end of the war with Iran, after the worst atrocities. In 1989, Iraqi nuclear engineers were invited to the United States to take part in a conference. It was in Portland, Oregon, in which they were trained in how to develop weapons of mass destruction. And that's 1989. Furthermore, George Bush #1 told us why it was being done. He said, we have to provide aid to Saddam because it's of our responsibility to help U.S. exporters and because he contributes to stability in the region. In fact, that continued. I mean, after the invasion of Kuwait, after he was driven out of Kuwait, you know, Iraq was practically bombed into rubble. The U.S. had total control of the area. There was an uprising, March, April 1991, Shiite uprising in the south. Probably would have overthrown it. There were rebelling Iraqi generals. Good chance he would have been overthrown. Well, the Bush administration determined that they would essentially permit Saddam to crush it. They used military helicopters, other armed equipment. They didn't have to do that. That led to a huge massacre.